Baltimore County State's attorney says his office has seen a spike in animal cruelty cases, a stat that prompted a summit this morning at Stevenson University with the goal of better prosecuting the growing number of cases. ABC 2 News investigator Brian Kubler reports.
At Stevenson University, in the school's mock courtroom, very real lawyers and cops were talking about a very real problem.
But they had to know that this dog was suffering. Can we argue that this dog was tortured under the statute?
Law enforcement, animal control, and attorneys from Frederick County to Baltimore City filled this room to capacity to take part in this first ever Animal Abuse Leadership Summit. The goal for all jurisdictions to better understand animal cruelty laws, how to better prosecute them, and build a better and more convincing case.
We think this is a very important area of the law to make sure that everybody is kind of on the same page and using some of the best practices all over the state.
Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger's office organized this summit, an effort to standardize better investigations and prosecutions after his office saw a jump in animal abuse cases. Assistant State's Attorney Adam Lippy saw many of those cases firsthand, and this day-long meeting was in part his idea.
It should never be a situation where someone doesn't know where to turn to, either as a member of the community, an investigator, an animal control member, a prosecutor in a different county. There's people that you can talk to, there's people that you can learn from, and we can actually, make a difference.
And most of those people were in this room trying to form a common understanding of animal cruelty and justice, not just for the animal, but as many studies show, suspects who abuse animals are far more likely to commit domestic violence. A finding making this summit all the more important as these men and women learn to be a better voice for the victims that don't have one. In Owings Mills, Brian Kubler, ABC 2 News.
Although that summit was directed at cases in Baltimore County, sadly, there have been some terrible cases of animal abuse across the Baltimore area in recent years. Earlier this year, 2 brothers were found not guilty by a Baltimore City jury, accused of pouring gasoline onto a pit bull and then lighting her on fire back in 2009. The dog, renamed Phoenix by the people at the Bark shelter who tried to save her, eventually had to be euthanized. But that case led to some important changes. Baltimore City police officers now get special training on cases involving animals and gathering evidence from crime scenes in cruelty cases. Last year, a cat nursing her kittens was trapped under a milk crate and burned, leaving her with a large scar across her side as a reminder. Thankfully, Mittens was able to recover, also with the help of the people at Barks, and she was adopted. Because of her powerful story, Mittens became a poster cat for several anti-animal cruelty bills in Annapolis. Eventually, one of the 2 Baltimore City teens accused in her attack was convicted. Mittens was also honored by the ASPCA. And who could forget Thor, a pit bull left for dead inside a city trash can over the summer. He was found by Baltimore police. The 5-year-old dog was down to skin and bones, but survived and is now thriving after being more than 20 pounds underweight. Thanks to the good work of the caretakers at Barks, Thor now has a new permanent home and a good friend in his buddy Sydney. You can find much more about today's Anti-Animal Abuse Summit at abc2news.com. Just head to our homepage slideshow and click on that story.